Whew, I wasn't ready for how loud that was going to be.
What's up?
I fucking heard that.
Glad you did.
It's been a while since I've heard our intro music. That was nice. What's up, Nerf herders? Welcome back to the Nap. The show that we said wasn't going to be regular and is turning out to be pretty regular. So,
Well, like we said, we'll come back when there's stuff to talk about, and there's definitely been some stuff to talk about lately.
That's true. Things are amping up again. Like
Finally, right?
Well, I mean, a lot of it I think can be attributed to just like the streaming world being like, hey, we're taking over now. We were taking over already, but now we're taking over everything. And now news can progress because, yeah, you don't need to quarantine to watch something on streaming. Josh, how we doing today?
We're doing, man. We're doing. I've been busy. I've been busy, man. We're last couple weeks of the year. You know, if anybody knows me, they know I work for a nonprofit, and this whole year can be represented in the pivot scene from Friends. We've just been pivoting and pivoting and pivoting all year long, and we've been doing really well. But this last month has been just kind of trying to make up for the lost ground that we had all year, and we're nearly there, man. It's just been a sprint to the finish just for a while now. So I'm a little tired, but I'm excited, and I'm excited to have some stuff to talk about. How about you? How are you doing?
Oh, it's just getting busier.
Yeah.
Things are amping up. I'm supremely disappointed in myself because I filmed reaction videos to some of the trailers that we're going to watch today. But now that I've seen them and I messed up something so royally that I would have to like re-record them, it would have been like me just like doing trailer commentary or like trying to change it up. I was like, I'll just do it during the show. We'll just watch it for the podcast because I messed up an audio thing and unfortunately it like made the audio quality so wonky.
Oh no.
That I would have had to have like redone it, like my speaking audio.
And, gotcha.
Because I still had things set up from when I was like doing like hard vocals and stuff like that in the studio. So yeah, I messed up kind of bad. So that made me sad. But in contemplating all the things that I could do to kind of like take Nerf herders to another level, to kind of like amplify, get us out to more people, get more people talking, get more people involved in the conversation. I got a bunch of ideas. So we're going to talk about that after the show today. But Marvel, Disney, Star Wars, whoever you want to, honestly, I think Marvel had more announcements than anybody else, but Disney in general was like, hey, we just saw all this HBO Max news. Let's just drop some bombs on people.
Oh yeah.
And that's exactly what they did.
Well, and yeah, Disney, Pixar, everybody, and not just Disney Plus, but also theater Disney. And yeah, I mean, I think we slightly kind of mentioned it last week when we were talking about the HBO Max conversation. It kind of seemed rushed, kind of seemed out of nowhere. And now I believe that's why. I believe that someone got whiff of what Disney Investor Day 2020 was going to drop. And HBO was like, holy shit, we need to try to get out ahead of this. And they dropped that because the time period between the announcement of Wonder Woman 84 doing the simultaneous release and then the whole 2021 simultaneous release, it was a very small window and nobody saw it coming. And, they've even started messing around with the dates since then. Like, for example, Mortal Kombat was originally slated to be coming out here in January 15th. Now it's just been announced that it's coming out in April. So they're still moving pieces around to make next year work for HBO Max. But I believe somebody in their camp caught whiff of what Disney was about to drop. And then we all caught it last week. Holy shit. I mean, I was working, so I only caught the last part of it. I did see what we're about to watch, which is Marvel, and I caught up most of the stuff from the Star Wars one, which we'll watch later tonight, but I didn't actually watch the panel. So I liked your idea of us just kind of rewatching this because so much happens in a very small, Feige just comes out and whips his dick out and just says, "Hey, this is Marvel for the next 2 years," and it's insane, man. And he doesn't even touch on everything; just touches on some stuff. It's crazy.
Yeah, HBO Max's announcement of what they were doing felt a lot less put together than what this was. Obviously, I mean, they Disney had been planning this for a long time,
Right?
But if Marvel's good at anything, they're good at keeping secrets.
Yeah, they are.
A lot of the time, it doesn't seem like stuff gets out unless they want it to, and even if sometimes when it's a leak, I feel like even that's kind of strategic to some degree. Even then, they're like, oh well, we wouldn't tell somebody who we thought would leak it if we weren't like okay with it being leaked. But this wasn't a leak though. This was straight up a I don't know. It felt like hope. Is that weird?
I think this was for any dumb son of a bitch that thought that, oh, Disney is about to, fall, or Disney or COVID's about to take its toll on Disney. This was just, I mean, for them, this was like the middle finger to them. But for all the people that's invested money into Disney, Disney was like, chill, we're taking your money. It's well kept. And 2020 might have been a shitty year, but holy shit, we're going to make up for it. I mean, I remember all the stuff they announced when Disney Plus launched, and we were like, holy shit, this sounds amazing, and that kind of announcement is minuscule in comparison to this. This is beyond insane, all the stuff that they dropped. I'll be happy if they land 50% of the stuff that they dropped as far as dates and everything, because a lot of this is still just announcements. Things could happen and their commitments could change and whatnot like that. But either way, there's so much that happens, and I'd love to. I've only watched it once, and I'd love to watch it with you and just kind of break it down.
Yeah. So what we're about to watch was really like, I mean, yeah, it's an FU to the people who are like, yeah, Disney's not doing so great, but it was also, I think, really in our because we're watching the Marvel one first, but I think that watching the Marvel one first is better because there's a lot more to it. There was a lot of people who were like so in doubt for how good the Marvel Cinematic Universe is going to be post Endgame. Now that the Infinity Saga is over with, that 10-year block of not always, but almost like very many excellent movies.
True.
They're like, okay, how do we top this? It's like, well, you don't necessarily top that. That's not what you do. You try to remain
how do you maintain
consistent.
Yeah.
You want to remain consistent with good content. And now what it looks like is they're really like investing in Disney Plus's future and trying to make sure that it's like streaming. They're really heavily focusing on shows. So I mean, yeah, there's more TV shows that are being produced now than I think ever have been at any one time. And I mean, that just seems to be the style of content that just keeps people coming back. It's not like a 3-hour movie that they drop. It's like, we're going to keep people talking about it for the longest period of time. It's the most cost effective in this particular manner because it is going to keep people talking about it for a long time. And the Mandalorian method that they're using right now, where they're releasing them weekly, I mean, I think has increased my enjoyment of the show, or at least my anticipation for each episode. And if they're going to do that with Marvel now too, it's like, okay, this is huge. This is going to be a crazy time. And then like immediately after this announcement, we got a bunch of other rumors that we'll talk about after we're finished with Kevin Feige's presentation here. But yeah, I watched the Loki trailer. I watched the Falcon and Winter Soldier trailer, and I watched WandaVision 2, official trailer 2. Those were the ones that I was trying to do reactions to. And then to your advice, I actually watched Kevin Feige's entire presentation, which was actually just an easier way to digest all of the written journalism stories.
Just don't blink. Just don't blink.
Just don't blink. Yeah, and he rolls through it too, which is why we were like, yeah, let's just watch it on the show. And I am ready when you are. We'll pause.
I am too. I got plenty of comments as well. We could talk all day about this presentation, so let's watch it first, and then we'll share.
We'll have to pause throughout. Like maybe post every like a little Maybe after every little like kind of bit.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so following along, granted, we're watching. I just pulled up Marvel Disney Investors Day, Marvel scenes. So yeah, so let's watch that here. So it actually started off with Pixar, and they were joking about borrowing Chris Evans for the voice of Buzz Lightyear, which is kind of funny. And they had a neat little transition, so I figured I'd keep that in here.
In the summer of 2022. So there you have it. Pixar continues to transform even as we've become a proud part of the wonderful tradition of animation. We look forward to introducing you to even more characters, old and new, in years to come.
They got a big slate coming up.
Yeah, they do.
Tell Kevin Feige that we're hiring Chris Evans away from Marvel Studios, okay? Oh no, here he comes.
Hey,
Here
Chris
it
Evans
comes.
is done.
Thank you, Pete. Good afternoon, everyone. We at Marvel Studios are thrilled to have a home on Disney Plus where nearly the entire Marvel Cinematic Universe is laid out in a way that's easy for fans around the world to enjoy. And today I'm excited to talk about the
This looks
expansion
really
and
clean.
future of the MCU. As you may know,
green
the
screen
Cinematic
works on
Universe
point.
weaves storylines and heroes and villains across 23 feature films to date.
Are
And
they
with
using
Disney
the green
Plus,
screen or the
we're able
light
to
wall or
extend this way
the
of
screen
storytelling
wall from
to new
Mandalorian?
format, creating
I wonder.
stories connected to our theatrical releases, making the MCU
Or the way
more
it's sharp.
immersive than ever.
I think it'd be
With one new
cheaper for a
content coming from
presentation
Marvel
like this to
Studios,
just do a
so
green
let's
screen.
start.
Yeah.
WandaVision will be the very first Marvel Studios series on Disney Plus.
Oh, can't wait.
Wanda and Vision are two of our most powerful and complex heroes, and this series is a perfect expansion point for MCU storytelling. Launching on Disney Plus on January 15th, here's a look at the brand new trailer for WandaVision.
And it's
go.
fucking weird.
So what's a
Love the
single
music.
girl like you doing rattling around this big house?
Well, I assure you, I'm married to a man, a human one.
Wanda. But it's rain and I ride, wipe the sleep out the
We are an unusual couple.
Oh, I don't think that was ever in question.
We just don't know what to expect.
Just looks so clean. Oh,
It
love
really
it.
does. They're toying with a pregnancy here now too.
Mm-hmm.
Wanda, what's up? Who are you? I don't know.
I love that transition to widescreen.
Yeah.
Something's wrong here.
Wanda, can you hear me? Who's doing this to you?
He's doing this to you. Interesting.
This is our home.
Then let's fight for it.
Kat Dennings.
Hmm.
Well, I think we handled that well.
All right, smack that pause.
I'm trying.
So, yeah. So there was a lot. There was a lot packed into that trailer, but I feel like we still didn't get any of the answers that I had wanted after like our first reaction to that trailer, which I think was all. I think we also did that in a podcast episode.
We did.
So we saw Kat Dennings in there, so she's reprising her role as Darcy,
Yep.
from the Thor series, and then we also saw the FBI agent from Ant-Man and the Wasp,
Right. Right.
which I don't know if that was him who was like talking, like over the loudspeaker to her. I'm starting to feel like the title itself is kind of a play on words, but like different from the way that I had expected it to be. I think it's more of like, instead of it being WandaVision where they're talking about it like television or some kind of like I feel like Wanda is producing these visions and they're just kind of falling apart on her. And that's like, she's just trying to hold it all together. There's going to be a lot of PTSD surrounding all this because she went through some shit. I mean, she loses her
Right.
brother. She gets locked. She blows up a building. She gets locked down into Avengers Tower. She loses Vision after this crazy battle. Well, she has to kill him. Then sees time get reversed and then watches him get his stone ripped out of his head and goes all colorless, and that was crazy. And then just kind of like tossed to the side like garbage. And then she gets dusted and then gets brought back but Vision doesn't get brought back, and it just, well, maybe as far as we know, Vision doesn't get brought back because they're toying with it. I mean, he's showing up in here. I feel like she's producing these visions, and we are going to slowly start to see Wanda turning into a villain of the MCU, starting with this series, and then leading into like Multiverse of Madness. Because I mean, if you follow the Marvel comics, Scarlet Witch is a psychopath in some of the storylines that they've had throughout there, and some of the stuff that she does is pretty messed up, especially with like the House of M line. There's a lot of craziness that can occur. Especially now that the X-Men have been reacquired. Well, not reacquired, but acquired.
Right.
So yeah, I'm thinking shit's gonna get a little bit crazy. Vision is just in her head, and it's like her worst impulses are manifesting as him. And I especially think that when like people are trying to get in to help her, but like there's the part of her mind that's like turning evil now is manifesting as Vision, and is saying, she's like, this is our home, and he's like, well then let's protect it, or let's fight for it. I really feel like that's going to be, I feel like they're fighting against somebody that they shouldn't be fighting against.
Yeah, I think the trailer had a little red herring in there, with the agent saying, who's doing this to you. I think that's supposed to throw us off into thinking there is a villain that's not her. And I've thought for a while that she's doing this, and I think she's going to push it too far, and that is going to bring us into the multiverse, because she can do a lot of things already. And I think she's just going to get too deep, and she's going to lose herself in it. And then the more she fights it, or the more she fights to maintain it and contain it, the more, rips and tears in reality there are that leads us into the multiverse. And we're getting so many things, and Kevin Feige starts talking about it right after this, about the consequences of that. And we see things in the news like the Spider-Man multiverse stuff that could be an offshoot of this. We've seen a lot of things that they're teasing for Marvel's future that could all be related somehow, or at least manufactured to tie into her and the multiverse. So it's interesting they're starting it off with this.
If we continue with Kevin Feige's presentation here, he actually makes mention of that. So let's go ahead real quick.
Elizabeth Olsen is currently in London right now. She's shooting the film Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness.
Yes.
With director Sam Raimi, star Benedict Cumberbatch, and the rest of the cast, including Benedict Wong, Rachel McAdams, and Chiwetel Ejiofor. And joining them is a new fan favorite character from the comics, America Chavez, played by Xochitl Gomez. This film hits theaters March 25th, 2022, and we're really pushing the boundaries of storytelling with this thrilling, scary, mind-bending adventure. Not only will Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness connect directly to the events of WandaVision, but it will also connect to the events of our new Spider-Man film coming to theaters December 2021.
So that's a big
next series for Disney Plus, which launches this coming March. The Falcon and the Winter Soldier features two recognizable superheroes last seen together in the final moments of Avengers Endgame. Sam Wilson, a.k.a. the Falcon, is played by Anthony Mackie, and Bucky Barnes, the Winter Soldier, is played by Sebastian Stan. The Falcon and the Winter Soldier is a cinematic experience. It's a Marvel Studios movie played out over 6 episodes. And now here for the first time is an exclusive look at the Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
I like how he described it that way. That's great.
I do too. I really want him to keep doing that.
The legacy of that shield is complicated. The world.
Cut his hair.
Mm-hmm. I hate it.
Hate it.
It's better with long hair.
People need something to get behind.
I love the font. It's great.
They need the symbol.
That's not Falcon. That dude was white. Who is this chick?
Just a mascot. Deathstroke knockoff.
Oh yeah.
Still playing with his knives.
So no plan.
Great.
I love
So
the new
reminiscent
Falcon
of
suit.
Winter Soldier when Captain jumped out without a parachute.
Yeah. The new Falcon suit is dope.
Yeah, it looks nice. A little Independence Day Top Gun action. Got that Captain America music.
Yes, indeed. A remnant of it.
In that cyborg brain of yours.
You don't want to know.
Oh yeah, I can see it working. Gears turning. Oh, they're malfunctioning. They're on fire.
God, I hate you.
So something that bugged me when I did my trailer reaction. Yeah, go ahead and pause it. Something that bugged me when I did my trailer reaction was that, like, in that last scene there, like, it's clear that that's not what they were saying right at the very end.
Oh yeah, that was heavily dubbed.
Yeah. I hate when when trailers do that, it's fine, but when it's so visible that you can see it, it's just like, ugh, why'd you guys do
Right.
it? But
Do
like,
better,
I feel like
guys.
they're
Do
under.
better.
I feel like they're under such a time crunch, and they've got so many projects. They're just like, we're just gonna let that slip through. We got to give them something for the investor presentation. We got to get this done like right fucking now.
Right.
And this is what we got. No, this trailer didn't get me as excited as I wanted it to. There was like a lot of like, I felt good about it. Like, I feel like, okay, we're getting somewhere, but it felt rushed. It really felt rushed. And
we haven't seen
and it probably
anything.
was.
It was. I mean, we haven't seen anything from them. I don't even know if they're completely done. I think they're still editing and everything. If they're done filming, they must have just finished filming. This is supposed to come out in 4 months. Yeah, so it's coming. It's coming real quick. We've gotten nothing but, like, I think we got like 10 seconds of footage in a Super Bowl teaser last year. So we haven't had anything for this. So anything's better than nothing. But I did like how Feige hyped it up, saying this is a 6-hour movie, guys. It's basically, he said, this isn't Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., where we put all of our money into the movies and we put shit money into the streaming service. He's like, we put just as much money and work into this as we would put into anything that would come out in the theaters. And that is exciting, to me, that, and you could see that there's money in this.
Oh yeah. It did not look like it was a lower budget of any kind. Like like they had really put it together properly. I mean, especially that scene with Sam flying through that canyon there. Like, it looked like it looked like they aren't really missing on the graphic department at all, which in these movies is pretty hectic. I don't know. Like, I just didn't get I didn't see anything like new out of their personalities at all. Like, I wanted a little bit more. I wanted to see, like, kind of, I don't know. I think you're right. When we're 4 months away from, like, the series airing, I would have expected a little bit more as to, like, what's going on. Like, almost a story trailer, but they gave us nothing. In classic Marvel fashion, but still. Yeah, I think they're just holding it close to the vest. I think they're finishing up things. They want to focus on what's coming first, and then they'll start teasing this heavy. And yeah, because they didn't show us any kind of plot or anything like that. But Brent commented, and he's commenting what I was just about to bring up as well. So that guy that ran out in the Captain America costume, who was clearly white, and he had the shield, and he was not, the Falcon, who Captain gave the shield to. That is actually Wyatt Russell playing U.S. Agent, who gets he's Kurt Russell's son. He played the blonde soldier in Overlord. I love him as an actor. He's gonna get that shield. And I think that's going to be one of the plots in the show, is how, Cap might have thought that Falcon should be the next Captain America, but the powers that be don't. They don't want a black guy being Captain America. I think that is going to be a significant plot line, and they're going to force him to give that shield up and say that's a government thing. That's above your pay grade. You just can't choose to be the next Captain America. We're actually going to give it to Wyatt Russell.
and make him the successor. And I think that's going to be a plot point.
What I really want to know is why the government had anything, like how the government gets re-involved in that in any capacity. Because I mean, at the end of Endgame, Captain America was still basically a vigilante.
Right. He never signed the Paris Accords. He never signed. It wasn't the Paris Accords. He whatever accords those were.
I mean, unless they. I mean, yeah, he was back at like Stark, but like he was back with the Avengers, but that was under a very different regime than.
Right.
Than what was there. And I would think that after everything that he did, his final wishes for Sam to have the shield would be respected, and to have them be disrespected is going to be, I want a good explanation for that.
Well, and here's the other thing. I want an explanation. Well, not an explanation. I just want somebody has to show how the world built itself back. Because if you remember when Endgame started, when it was 5 years in the future, the world was a shitty place, like, do you remember like the harbor around the Statue of Liberty with all those just abandoned boats and everything?
Yeah.
And I mean, the world looked like it was a dystopian future with just the remnants. So, I mean, when Banner snapped his fingers, he didn't fix all that. He just brought everybody back. So I would like to have something that hints at how they fix things. And then maybe the government comes back with a vengeance, like, look, clearly shit happened and we need a tighter grip on things. And maybe their argument is even stronger now. And they don't have people like Captain America standing in the way like they did before. And maybe this is one of their things where they're just like, sorry, it's not your choice. What is Brent has one more thing. Disney can be wonderfully nondescript in the trailers as they want to be for everything in the future. They already have our money. That's true. Theatrical release is basically begging for your money. Why they have to show it? Yeah. Love the show, by the way. Thanks, Brent. Appreciate that. Yeah, they do have my money. I guarantee you they do.
Yeah, I'm all in. Like I'm not getting rid of my Disney Plus subscription in any capacity. It's kind of become part of my online media diet anymore.
Well, now it's finally starting to flesh itself out, right? Like you got it the first year. Yeah. Now they're like, okay, you held through this shitty 2020 year. Now here comes the good stuff,
Well, I mean, it was a little different than what I was expecting it when I first gotten onto it, because I mean they had like the full Clone Wars series on there. They had the full and another season to accompany that.
That's true.
They have the full Rebels series on
year.
there. So
yeah.
So I mean, I got to rewatch. I got to rewatch several seasons of Clone Wars that I had never seen before, and then I think it was the last 3. I think it was 5, 6. I can't remember which one I stopped at. I've said it before in a previous show, but it was like I think it was season 5, 6, and 7 that I hadn't seen. Obviously not like 6 or 7 because they had come out after I had stopped watching. But
right.
But yeah, I got to experience some the last 4 episodes of Clone Wars are like peak and prime Star Wars, and I wouldn't have gotten that.
And the newest Mandalorian season heavily taps into that. So.
Yeah, big time. Yeah, we're getting it again, even though
we're getting off track. We got plenty of Star Wars to talk about later. Yes,
we do.
Let's get back to the Marvel stuff here.
The funny thing is that we're 2 trailers in, and Feige's just getting started.
I know. We're only 8 minutes into this 26-minute presentation.
Well, we skipped quite a bit. This is like 2 minutes into his part.
On Avengers Endgame,
yeah.
Black Widow will return to the big screen on May 7th, 2021. Of course,
the last time,
Scarlett Johansson is Natasha Romanoff. Fans have been patient, and I can't tell you just how ready we are for this Avenger to finally have her own standalone film. And speaking of fan favorite characters, Loki. The god of mischief will step out of his brother's shadow and into his own series on Disney Plus in May of next year. The great Tom Hiddleston returns as Loki and is joined in the series by Owen Wilson.
Can't wait for this.
Look
at that cast.
DiMartino, Mosaku,
that's an amazing cast.
Now pause it real quick.
Coming to Disney Plus
because he kind of, you fans have been patient, and we are finally ready to have Black Widow on there. But fuck talking about that right now.
We're
Let's talk
moving
about
on.
Loki. I mean, I get it. They've had a couple trailers out already.
Oh, they've had a lot. I think they're having a hard time coming up with more trailers because they're going to show the whole movie by this point.
Yeah, the movie has been on the radar for like a while now. When's it? Yeah, May 7th of 2021. Did he even mention that? Did he even say the date?
I don't know. Yeah, and by the way, we haven't skipped anything. Just with the trailers, that's where we're at. Is about 9 minutes into this, but he's just got so much to cover.
Wasn't the Pixar stuff kind of taken over before that, or was that?
Oh, that was about 30. Yeah, you're right. That was like 2-3 minutes in. You're right. But yeah, he's got stuff to tell us, Seth. He doesn't have time to rehash Black Widow. Black Widow it's coming. Y'all know what's coming. We got to talk about this other shit.
Oh, give us another teaser, something at least. Like, shit.
No, man, I just want the movie at this point.
DiMartino, Mumni Mosaku, and
Owen Wilson with gray hair, man.
As with our other shows coming to Disney Plus, we want to try something a little different.
I know. I loved how he showed that Owen Wilson is going to be in it, and I totally forgot about that until the trailer.
If that sounds a little unusual or confusing, don't worry. Loki's just as confused. Here's the very first look at Loki.
I did not expect a Loki trailer at all.
Get your hands up.
It just froze
Is it
up.
pause for you too? There we go. Yeah, here we go. This is the classic scene from Endgame.
Yep.
I love that voice.
He is wasted.
Every time I see it, I love it.
Whole Kate stares.
And we finally get to see where he goes. This is the perfect setup. Like,
and he takes the Tesseract. He takes the Bifrost for some reason to Tatooine, Josh's favorite planet.
I know. I was waiting for like a sand people to be like, "Hey, what's up?"
But no, he ends up in like Mongolia or something like that.
Yeah, Space Mongolia.
I really feel like the teleportation wasn't like he didn't take the Bifrost anywhere. That was just like for transition for the scene.
No, yeah, that was definitely transition.
No, I'm taking you someplace to talk. Where
Oh my
I'd
God.
like to talk. But you do like to lie, which you just did. Because we both know you love to talk. Talky. How long have you been here? I don't know, it's hard to say. You know, time passes differently here in the TVA. What does that mean? You'll catch up.
Oh my God, this looks amazing. I have no idea what's going on, but it looks amazing.
No, nothing.
Glorious.
The production value is just off the chain. What is going on? Is that Natasha? That looks like Natasha.
That's what I thought when I watched the trailer too.
Now this is
Brother, calm down.
I believe he's DB Cooper in this. Because he's jumping out of a plane with a bag full of money.
Yeah, why does Loki need money? And why does Asgard need money?
Right, right. Oh, there's so much going on here.
Come on. What did you expect?
Okay, with the election thing, that was pretty clever to end on that note.
Yeah.
But can I just say, we were just talking about how the Falcon and Winter Soldier looked rushed. I had no idea they were this far on the Loki show.
Yeah.
Like this is a trailer. You don't know anything that's going on. It's clearly more of a sizzle reel and just giving you a taste of the tone. But
Well,
holy
so
shit, I did not realize that.
We got quite a bit actually, because the TVA is actually the Time Variance Authority, which like has shown up in the comics several times. Like they basically are like this court that protects like the timeline from getting too fucked up. So they've shown up a few times. What I actually didn't know is that the first appearance of the TVA was actually in Thor 372 from 1986. And so they kept the first appearance of the Time Variance Authority inside kind of that Thor world as far as the cinematic universe is concerned, which I think is really cool. I didn't look into that comic at all. I probably should. But I canceled off my my Marvel Unlimited had to go for a little bit because I wasn't keeping up with my reading. And so to save some cash, unfortunately that dropped. But yeah, a lot of the scenes look like he was in kind of that office building area. And so it's clear that he is being held responsible for kind of fucking with the timeline a little too much. And Owen Wilson is obviously an agent of that. It looked like there were a couple other characters there. Looks like he's got his little dagger toss moment while he's still it almost looked like he was working there. He had a standard suit or something like that. He was being part of it, or they just got him out of his prison jumpers and put him into a suit for trial or something like that. But it feels like he's going to use that as kind of a breakout. But also from the Time Variance Authority, I have a feeling that he is going to have access to a lot of different timelines, which is why we saw so much craziness there.
Right.
And so that's, I feel like this is going to be Loki basically in a sandbox of crazy, which is exactly where I want Loki, Tom Hiddleston's Loki to be. Is him just kind of playing the way that he would want to, because I feel like we're going to get peak God of Mischief here. This is where shit's really going to get crazy.
People have been complaining for years that we never got the true villainous God of Mischief that is Loki. We got him for a little bit
in Avengers, and then
and that was it. And then they started doing his kind of, what am I trying to say? They started redeeming him. We started seeing more humanized side. So people got to remember, this is not that Loki. This is the Loki that at the end of Avengers, right after he tried to destroy the world, right after he brought an army. This is that Loki. This is not the Loki that lost his mom. This is not the Loki that, has been kind of teaming back and forth with his brother over the last couple movies. This is the one that almost tried to destroy New York and the Earth. It's that Loki. So hopefully, they remember that and make him villainous in this, show as well, because it's not the one we've gotten used to. So I'll be interested to see how they remind us of that. Because that picture that he saw of, Hawkeye drawing back the bow, for us, that was years ago. For him, that was minutes ago, because this is coming from that Loki, not the Loki we've been watching over all these movies since. So, I'm excited to bring back that Loki and see how, we fall in love with him. And how that kind of almost rewrites the Loki that we've been getting used to over the past couple years. So I will definitely be excited for that show.
There's still a lot. There was so I looked up IMDb, and so far we've got Sophia DiMartino, Richard Grant, Gugu Mbatha-Raw, Wunmi Masaku, and Owen Wilson have not had their castings revealed. They're just in here, but we do have Isabel Frethheim playing Minuteman, which is kind of the Minutemen we're reading directly from the Marvel fandom wiki. The Minutemen were a police force for the Time Stream. They succeeded in apprehending the orb seconds later after he warned Wolverine and Spider. Okay, this is somebody fucked up their copy and paste here. But it seems like they're going to be kind of another time force that we're going to be dealing with. It might even be the police force for the TVA, because the team leader is listed as Time Variance Authority. So, and their enemies are actually listed as Spider-Man and Wolverine, their two main villains, which is weird.
This show looks weird, and I'm excited for it. And I think shows like the Umbrella Academy have paved the way for weird and allow us to get these elaborate things. And we could break down every Easter egg that's in that trailer. Brent he said, little Easter egg, Owen Wilson's unnamed character's appearance is based on Marvel writer, artist, editor Mark Grunwald. He is known for his encyclopedic knowledge of the Marvel story history. Interesting. I would not have known that without looking it up. So I'll be interested to see how they pay tribute to to that
he's
guy.
So he's probably going to be the exposition character.
Probably.
He's going to explain some stuff because there was that scene where we saw Hawkeye and the Avengers like all in frame, but that was actually shot to be from like Loki's point of view.
Right.
So like they're watching it from inside his own mind.
Right, like they're looking, like they're recapping his memories or something. I don't know. Yeah. It'll be interesting. Let's
and then I'm pretty sure you were right. I'm pretty sure we saw Black Widow in there, which is why I feel like she might,
God, that looked like her.
I feel like she might be alive, and that was her like trapped on Vormir.
We'll see. We will see. It's gonna. I feel like it's gonna. It could retcon a lot of stuff.
That crazy theory that I keep on having.
I know. You've had it.
And stuck on Vormir.
See how it comes true. Through the weirdest of channels.
Shifting to Marvel Studios' first animated series, coming to Disney Plus next summer.
This is cool.
Flips the script on the MCU, taking famous events from the films and reimagining them in unexpected ways. We've assembled a stellar voice.
Yeah, I thought this sounded dumb, but I'll give it to him that this trailer looks cool.
Yeah, the trailer looks really neat. I really like the animation style.
Space.
It does look pretty good.
Time.
I don't have much.
I was worried it was going to be lower level.
It's more than a linear path. It's a prism of endless possibility.
Well, that doesn't sound ominous at all.
Samuel Jackson's voice there.
Mm-hmm.
The animation style reminds me.
Like Galactus in the background.
It looked like him.
Is that what that was? I do like this.
Yeah.
I was promised an army.
They went to Peggy Carter instead. That's awesome.
Mm-hmm. Captain Britannica.
Captain Britain. Yeah.
I don't know. It's probably Britain. Captain England. Star-Lord T'Challa.
Down about all this, kid.
That's pretty neat.
What you doing out there all by yourself anyway?
Exploring the world.
Sounds fun. But why stop at one world when we can show you all of them?
The animation style reminds me of the Iron Giant.
Yeah, it's good. It's polished well. I do like it.
I am your guide through these vast new realities.
Watch it.
Follow me and dare to face the unknown.
Of course, the zombies.
I love that they included Marvel Zombies there.
What if? What if?
Give me the talk.
That's cool. I love how, not everything's changed. Not, they didn't switch up, no. Doctor Strange is still Stephen Strange, stuff like that. Although I thought it would be interesting if, if there was a David Hasselhoff Nick Fury. I feel like that could have been great.
I don't have too terrible much to say about this one. Actually, I actually have very little to say because they're coming out with like completely original ideas. But
yeah,
I love the animation style. I love that they got some of the voice actors to come back, or some of the actors to come back and voice. So yeah, I'm just stoked to dabble in that.
I think it'll be really fun to watch, and I'm looking forward to it.
For sure.
But yeah, that was a nice little tease that not what I wasn't expecting
in
it.
Australia on our film Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings.
Wrap production already.
Simu Liu has brought the character of Shang-Chi to life. Simu is surrounded on screen by a fantastic cast that includes Awkwafina, Tony Leung, and Michelle Yeoh.
Oh, I'm excited.
Among the very first in our Phase 4,
Awkwafina.
set to release in theaters on July 9th, 2021. Launching on Disney Plus
2021
later next year is Miss Marvel. Miss Marvel is a Pakistani.
So they glaze over Shang-Chi, but like I was really hoping for more info from there.
We held online auditions.
Yeah, I think they're holding off on that
to find our Kamala Khan, and we found her in Aman Vellani. Aman will be surrounded by a phenomenal cast and creative team that will bring this story to life. So here's an early look at Miss Marvel.
Miss Marvel is a new kind of superhero, but at the core of all of it, her story is so universal.
Miss Marvel is one of the newer characters in the Marvel comics.
Very new.
When one comes in,
Yeah.
it grabs the
They're
world's
going all in
imagination
on this,
like
which is kind of
The questions
exciting.
are, when are we going to bring Miss Marvel to the screen?
When Miss Marvel first came out, we had such an incredible reaction.
It was so incredibly popular because everybody could see themselves in her.
I never saw a young teenager of color, specifically a Pakistani, in a comic book. Are you kidding?
You promised you'd be cool.
I am cool.
The casting process was vast. When we discovered Iman, we knew that she was Kamala Khan.
It was a unanimous decision.
Yeah, I can't comprehend this right now.
And then, of course, we've got a really incredible team of directors: Bilal Fallah, Adel Al-Arabi, Mira Menon, and Sharmeen Obaid-Chinoy. And all of them are taking the material and elevating it.
So human. It's about a teenager figuring out who she is and about relationships. Family and friendship is at the heart of the MCU canon. That's what's so exciting about the story that we're bringing, is that we're going to introduce you to a new family that's also going to be part of the wider MCU.
It's really interesting.
I really like that. I was really hoping for something like that around Shang-Chi though, because that's kind of another Marvel
nothing for Shang-Chi.
Yeah, but that's another Marvel property where we're dealing with some like new stuff that the general public isn't going to know shit about, and I know very little about Shang-Chi myself.
Well, and you got to remember, this is not a press conference for the general public. This is an Investors Day thing. So
bullshit.
I know, but it is framed around Investors Day, and it's something that they do every year. So maybe last year, when COVID wasn't happening and Disney didn't feel the need to push this as hard to the public, maybe they had more Shang-Chi stuff last year during Investors Day. And they're focusing on new things to announce, because you can tell they've filmed next to nothing for Miss Marvel. I mean, they showed you a couple glimpses, and I will say the production value on this looks more like the production value of that Cloak and Dagger show, and not really Winter Soldier and Falcon. It doesn't look terrible, but it certainly doesn't look as much. But it's exciting that this is all just under Feige now. Like they're not loaning this out to any other place anymore. They're not letting ABC Studios make a Marvel show. They're not letting any Lifetime channel or whatever channel Cloak and Dagger was on. They're not letting anybody else touch their shit anymore. They have their own platform. They're gonna do it. And what? It wasn't on Sci-Fi
or IFC or something like that. What was it?
Let's see, Cloak and Dagger television series.
It was an off network. It was certainly not one of the.
It was on. Yeah, it wasn't. It was, and it went away pretty quick.
Oh, it wasn't that great.
Yeah, well, it didn't look that great.
No,
it was on Freeform. It was on Freeform.
Yeah.
So that tells you they're not letting anybody like that touch their shit anymore. They've got their own platform now, and sure, every show doesn't have to have the quality or the production value as Falcon and the Winter Soldier. So I'm not really dogging them on that, but I am excited that this is all under their umbrella now. And, that means that there's going to be that much more level of care put into it to make sure that it's not, it gets its justice. So that's kind of cool to me.
And I'm really excited to see Miss Marvel jumping in so quick. Because the most prominent, aside from the comics, the most prominent appearance that she has is in the latest video game, which even less people are going to see. So, yeah, really great to see that. Then again, and it's also another character that I know very little about. I know what her superpowers are, and that's about it.
Yeah.
So,
well, you got to remember, that's how the MCU started out. People like us, we knew who Iron Man was, but back then that was it was a low tier title compared to, Spider-Man and stuff like that. And they chose to start there and build their church on Iron Man. And so now they've built that church and they have the leeway to add anything to it. And it's kind of exciting that they're choosing a more modern title.
I'm still waiting to see who the new Marvel pastor is going to be, though. Tony Stark's gone. I haven't seen it yet.
All right, let's keep it going.
Dropping bombs.
The fact about Miss Marvel is that her idol is Captain Marvel. And Captain Marvel 2 is currently in the works with director Nia DaCosta. And today I'm excited to announce that Miss Marvel, played by Iman, will be joining Brie Larson and co-starring in Captain Marvel 2.
I love how there was that rumor that they were kicking Brie Larson out of this movie. It's like, no, they're not. Come on.
In the upcoming WandaVision.
I know y'all don't like her, but come on.
So go back a few seconds real quick.
Director Nia DaCosta. And today
they mentioned WandaVision again.
Marvel, played by Iman, will be joining Brie Larson and co-starring in Captain Marvel 2, along with a grown-up Monica Rambeau, played by Tiana Paris, whom we will have already met in the upcoming WandaVision. So by now you should start getting a sense of the interconnectedness that infuses all of our story.
Probably going to be another.
She was that woman who was like, I don't know who I am.
Yeah.
Interesting.
With next year's Eternals, we're introducing a brand new ensemble of superheroes to the MCU, played by a spectacular.
I'm so excited for this.
God, that's a cast. Look at that.
Spanning thousands of years.
Look at that.
It's one of our most ambitious films yet.
Wow.
It's set for theatrical release on November 5th, 2021. Original
Again,
Avenger Jeremy
just glossed
Renner
over it.
returns to star in Hawkeye.
Well, we got a year left on that one.
Next year.
Yeah.
In our series, Hawkeye teams up with another well-known archer from Marvel Comics, Kate Bishop. And I'm very pleased to confirm that Kate was played by the amazing Haley Steinfeld.
That's exciting.
Rounding out that cast are Vera Farmiga, Fra Fee, and
I love
newcomer
Vera
Alakwa
Farmiga.
Cox
She's great.
playing Maya Lopez. The episodes are being directed by Rhys Thomas and the directing duo of Bert and Birdie.
That's
Debuting
exciting.
For the first time in the MCU,
Here we go.
She-Hulk
This was
is coming
big.
to Disney Plus.
I was not expecting
trying
this.
to navigate the world and be taken seriously.
Well,
as a
not
working
this part.
Professional,
The casting.
despite the fact that she's well over 6'7" and green. It's a very funny series being directed by Kat Coiro.
The actress that they get for it, though.
And I
Oh,
can
yeah.
officially confirm that
Tatiana
She-Hulk
Maslany.
/ Jennifer Walters will be played by the talented and Emmy Award-winning Tatiana Maslany.
From
I'm also pleased to
the
reveal
Clone
that
Show.
The brilliant Tim Roth is returning.
I can't
as the
believe he's
Abomination,
coming back.
character
That's
we first
amazing.
introduced to
I
the
love
MCU
it.
in 2008's The Incredible Hulk.
That's so
If that's
awesome.
Not enough, I can confirm that the Hulk himself, Mark Ruffalo, will be appearing in the series.
Well,
as
of course. You
And
got
since
to.
Jennifer Walters is a lawyer who specializes specifically in superhero-oriented legal cases. You never know what Marvel characters are going to pop up from episode to episode.
Yeah, legal cases.
Bringing a whole
Fucking
new
Daredevil,
different
man.
vibe to the MCU.
Oh,
Moon
yeah.
Knight is an action-adventure Indiana Jones type story
so
coming to
happy.
life as a Disney Plus series.
Yeah, they're
directed by
digging
Mohammed
deep
Diab.
now.
The character Moon Knight is a complex vigilante who suffers from dissociative identity disorder. And these multiple identities that live inside him are very distinct characters in the series. The backdrop of our story is incredible Egyptian iconography. Egyptology is something the world's always been fascinated by, and we're going to tap into it in a fun and bold way in Moon Knight. Now I want to talk about
Okay,
a couple
pause
of
that real
we
quick.
haven't announced yet.
Because Moon Knight is a character who I had been wanting to see for a long time, and especially with like the heavy influence at showing that mental illness isn't always a weakness, or it's not always something that's associated, that it's not necessarily that it's not associated with just how do I say this? Somebody who identifies as a hero like Moon Knight can also be somebody who is suffering from a mental illness, which is huge. That is something that such a huge amount of people can connect to. And I want to say that it feels like it's been too long, but this is actually a really good time to bring Moon Knight out. Because I don't know how he would have fit in with like the previous side of things. And it's also like a lot of his stories are a little bit gritty. And so having his own series makes a lot more sense as well. Especially when all this is going to tie into the cinematic universes, and they're bringing a lot more cosmic characters and a lot more psychologically different characters, I guess we could say. Again, it's another really good time to bring him in. But I've been waiting for Moon Knight for a long time because he was actually one of the first characters that I got interested in the Marvel universe.
And again, this is giving us another instance of a person getting redemption from a Fox Marvel show in a Disney Marvel show with Oscar Isaac playing Moon Knight. I don't think anybody liked X-Men Apocalypse, let alone his Power Rangers style get up. I mean, it was just bad. It was just bad.
It was a drop.
But we all know Oscar Isaac to be a stellar actor. And he's just getting all the roles, man. He's in Dune. He's in Star Wars.
I'm so happy that his career wasn't ruined by Star Wars, because that's
I know.
Most movies.
He's just landing them all. So that'll be interesting for sure.
I'm waiting around the corner for Daisy Ridley to grab some sort of a Marvel role now, but I don't know. That might not be in her wheelhouse. She might want to stay away from stuff like that.
She needs something to come back. I feel like she really does.
I think
this
she's
next
had enough
piece,
of
though.
like the super. I think she's had enough of like the super franchises, though.
Fascinated.
Yeah,
we're going to tap
see
into
what
it
happens.
in a fun and bold way in Moon Knight. Now I want to talk about a couple of projects that we haven't announced yet.
I
The first of
cannot
which-
believe this. Holy shit!
Coming to Disney Plus. Samuel L. Jackson is back as Nick Fury, and Ben Mendelsohn from Captain Marvel returns as the Skrull Talos. Next to Civil War, Secret Invasion is arguably the biggest crossover comic event in the last.
Yeah. It's huge.
And
It's
we're
huge.
bringing it to Disney Plus. It's about a sect of Skrulls who have infiltrated every level of life on Earth. Ironheart will be a series for Disney Plus about genius inventor Riri Williams, who has the most advanced suit of armor since Iron Man's.
Again, a
Dominic
fairly
Thorne will
modern
play
title.
The title role.
Yeah.
If you like to
Very
do,
new hero.
both Secret Invasion and Ironheart will tie directly to MCU feature films.
Okay.
We're also
Okay.
well underway on a series for Disney Plus based on Armor Wars.
Yeah,
a
this is
classic
exciting.
Marvel story about Tony Stark's worst fear coming true. It's what happens when his tech falls into the wrong hands.
Again.
And this series will star beloved
Yeah.
member of the
It's
MCU.
like, this isn't new.
He returns as Jim Rhodes, aka War Machine. One of the best things about expanding the MCU to Disney Plus is that our team at Marvel Studios is finally able to do some of the things we've always wanted to do.
This
but
is the
didn't quite have right
perfect
outlet for.
I didn't
uh,
give a shit
way to
about
do
this
this.
announcement,
Live
though.
action
Like,
holiday
I didn't care in the
I know, but it's
Reverend
funny.
Guardians
It's so
fashion,
funny.
The Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special is going to be a lot of fun.
Of course, the
especially
sci-fi
since
show
James
has
Gunn
a
is
holiday
back to
special,
write and
and it's got
direct.
James Gunn
In
coming
fact,
back.
We're going to
Yeah,
shoot it
that-
during production of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. This special will drop the holiday prior to the next Guardians of the Galaxy film, which hits theaters in 2023. And speaking of Guardians,
2023, wow.
I Am Groot,
It just seems
whose
so
favorite tree
early to
Baby
announce
Groot,
that.
will star in a series of shorts on Disney Plus featuring several
Well,
new
they're
and
they're
unusual
going hard.
characters. Before I go, I couldn't leave you without giving a few more updates on some of our most anticipated upcoming films. In January, we'll begin filming Thor: Love and Thunder with director
Yeah, we knew that was coming.
Filming.
Chris Hemsworth, Natalie Portman, and Tessa
Yeah, they haven't
Thompson
even started
returning.
filming it yet.
And I'm pleased to confirm that Academy Award-winning actor Christian Bale is playing the villain, Gore the God Butcher. Thor: Love and
We
Thunder
knew that.
is in theaters on May 6th.
I just don't think
2022.
we knew who he was playing. That's
As we
exciting.
announced at Comic-Con last year, we're moving ahead with Blade, starring Academy Award winner Mahershala Ali.
I don't like that logo
Development and storylines
at
are
all.
coming together, and we'll have announcements very, very soon.
Yeah.
Director
I'm
Peyton
excited.
Reed is hard at work with our Marvel Studios team on the third Ant-Man film, which will officially be called
Ant-Man getting
Ant-Man and
another
the Wasp:
sequel. Wow.
Quantumania. Paul Rudd,
Quantumania.
Had to.
Michael Douglas, and Michelle Pfeiffer
Did he?
are all returning.
Yeah.
And Catherine Newton is joining the cast and playing Cassie Lang. And in the role
Okay.
of Kang
I
the
like
Conqueror,
Catherine Newton.
we have a great actor, Jonathan Majors.
What we didn't get is an announcement on
wanted to
Ghost
acknowledge-
returning.
Wait,
which
hold
is
up.
sad.
Catherine Newton is joining the
What-
cast.
who is he playing?
Cassie Lang.
Kang the Conqueror.
And in the
Oh
role of
yeah,
Kang the
he's playing
Conqueror,
Kang.
we
Holy
have
shit.
great
That's a
actor,
big
Jonathan
that's a
Majors.
big role. I didn't realize that was coming out in Ant-Man and the Wasp though. That's
I wanted
awesome.
To acknowledge the
Well,
devastating loss
he's
of a
big
dear
in the
friend,
quantum
member of the Marvel Studios family.
So
Chadwick
Makes sense.
Boseman was an immensely talented actor and an inspirational individual who affected all of our lives professionally and personally. His portrayal of T'Challa the Black Panther is iconic and transcends any iteration of the character in any other medium from Marvel's past. And it's for that reason that we will not recast the character. However, to honor the legacy that Chad helped us build through his portrayal of the King of Wakanda, we want to continue to explore the world of Wakanda and all of the rich and varied characters introduced in the first film. Writer-director Ryan Coogler is hard at work on the sequel now, and will bring the film to you in theaters July 8th, 2022. And
give it
finally,
to Shuri or Okoye.
That is a huge decision. That I did not expect.
I love that they made it, though. I love that they decided not to recast him. There's really no way that they could have done it without, well, one, without pissing a bunch of people off, but also without it being just really, really odd.
You know what? I saw the argument on both sides. I saw people coming from a lot of different backgrounds. Some people saying exactly what you just said, that it's just, that they can't recast it. It would be too odd. It'd be too weird. It wouldn't work. And it wouldn't do justice to Chadwick Boseman. I also saw plenty of other people saying, actually, it would be, they should recast it. They've recasted people like the Hulk. We've had how many different Supermans, especially
die.
That's true, yes, but especially when we're talking about the MCU going forward, and it's not ending anytime soon. There's not going to be any reboot of the MCU anytime soon. Whereas Superman, you knew that every couple of decades Batman, you knew every couple of decades somebody was going to take it up. Not even every couple of decades, every decade somebody, multiple times in one decade, according to the 90s. So, we've seen people get rebooted there all the time. Yes, you're correct. Nobody died, with the exception of people like the Joker.
Christopher Reeve had seen better days.
Yes, but so that did stop that. Heath Ledger dying didn't stop them from redoing the Joker. Granted, it was in a rebooted fashion. So there were people out there that said, you shouldn't do this to the character. You should honor Chadwick Boseman and honor the character of Black Panther by recasting him. But to this is the way they're going to go with it. I will be interested to see what they do. Are they going to kill him off camera? They've said they're not going to do a CGI Chadwick Boseman. So what are they going to do?
Every example that you actually listed, we're talking about a non-linear storyline.
Mm-hmm.
We're not talking about like a direct sequel.
Oh, I know this isn't the same circumstance.
But that's a wildly different circumstance, and it's an important note because we're dealing with a character who's in the exact same universe, and it would also be his first appearance after being like dusted. It's going to create some complications. And so to have him get recasted after tragically dying would be...
Well, I think we've had the Hulk get recasted, and we've had War Machine get recasted. And yes, neither of those had a death involved. But they
were different circumstances, though.
Yes, there were different circumstances. But again, I think there were a lot of people that said that, I
think Edward Norton straight up didn't want to do it anymore.
No, that was he wanted more money. He wanted more money
under the same circumstances. He was just like, fuck you, pay anymore.
But there was a lot of people that argued that they should recast it, and that recasting it would not dishonor the legacy that Chadwick Boseman brought. But either way, they crossed that hurdle. They made that decision. Now they got to make the decision of how to do it. How are they going to kill him off? Because they're going to kill him off. If they're not recasting him, then Black Panther has to die. And how do you do that respectfully? And how do you move on? And everybody was talking about Shuri for a while. And then the Shuri actor, she's an actor, online started sharing a lot of anti-vaxxer stuff. Now, they're not going to be replacing her or anything like that, but that has tainted her view in a lot of people's eyes lately. Granted, that doesn't mean that just because her personal beliefs mean she should be canceled. But now all of a sudden people are like, oh, maybe we don't want her as the replacement. So who's it going to be? Ryan Coogler is a genius as a director. I think whatever decisions they'll make, he'll make it a beautiful, and he'll make it strong. And I'm excited, but I'm definitely intrigued by what steps are going to take.
And I feel like Coogler probably had some say or some weight in the decision that was made.
Oh, for sure.
So I'm sure he was
considering how connected he was to Black Panther. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sure that probably had something to do with the decision, if not in a somewhat minor way.
Well, they're moving forward with that, and that was a big announcement. That was big to drop, and I was very surprised by that. But that's
personally, I'm happy about it.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not unhappy about it. I'm just surprised they made that commitment.
It's a film about one of the truly iconic Marvel families. In fact, Marvel's first family, Fantastic Four. We're working on a feature now, and it will be directed by the director of our recent Spider-Man films, John Watts.
That's very interesting.
We've got a lot in store at Marvel Studios, and Disney Plus is key to the interconnection and expansion of the MCU. It will be home for both our feature films and our series for years and years to come. Since Marvel first joined Disney back in 2009, Bob Iger's been the biggest champion of the work that we do. None of this would have been possible without his support. So it is now my pleasure to turn things back over to Bob. Thank you.
So what he just said,
the Fantastic Four announcement was really funny to me. Because for some reason I just had this thought that whoever they give it to is just going to make it awful just out of like tradition, I guess. I thought it's just like, you know what, Marvel, I'm going to drop the ball on this one. This will be like, I'm going to try and make this worse than Thor or Iron Man 2 or 3. Like I'm going to really try.
Well, there's already people bitching about it. There's already people bitching about the guy that's reinvented Spider-Man is going to now reinvent the Fantastic Four. I saw somebody's comment. I saw somebody's comment saying, we've got 2 Spider-Man films and we haven't seen Spider-Man in New York yet, or at least not prominently. And I'm like, okay, but you know, they're building up to that, you know, it doesn't mean those films were bad just because the landscapes were different. And I was in one of those doubt camps for a long time. I was like, again, we're rebooting again. And I'm one of the fans that miss and love Spider-Man as the college age kid, not as the teenage high school kid. I've never liked that, but it's been something that they've been doing to that character for the last 2 years, 2 decades. And, you know, to be fair, those Spider-Man films in the MCU are great. I really like them. And I don't have any doubt.
Game now.
I know. I have no doubt that they're going to do the Fantastic Four justice, that is going to mesh as well as everything else in the not the franchise, the MCU series. And it seems like if they're announcing this and how much everything they've announced in this presentation was connected to the multiverse, I wonder if Fantastic Four will be that first step out of that. And that'll be the bridge. You know, notice they didn't say anything about X-Men, but just like X-Men, they got Fantastic Four rights back from another studio. And I think this could be the bridge. This could be the first step into bringing those other characters in. But, you know, just because they got it back doesn't mean the next film has to be an X-Men film. They've got to do this strategically. And they've already had these other things planned for a long time. Now they're just adjusting course. And so, you know, I'm really excited for the next couple of years.
That's kind of like the big struggle between the X-Men when it comes to the X-Men, is because there were a lot of things that previous studios did right with the X-Men that now Marvel has to be like, okay, well, do we throw that away now? Like, we can't reuse any of those actors unless this whole multiverse thing is just a play on how they can fucking do that.
Right.
I mean, even Hugh Jackman has said before that he would play Wolverine again if it was involved with other heroes in the Marvel Cinematic Universe and not just X-Men, which was a big thing. He also didn't say anything about Deadpool, but again, probably too early too. But like when it comes to Fantastic Four, I'm sure it was like, nobody holds the Fantastic Four movies close to their heart right now, or any of the previous actors who did that.
So it might be an easier thing to retcon, or easier thing to remake.
a lot less risks involved in toying.
Let people forget about Hugh Jackman as Wolverine for a while. You know, we need to put some distance between that. I mean, I think people are ready to move on from everything else X-Men related, but Hugh Jackman is still like, God damn, that was good. And it had the best. Hugh Jackman got that finale that he deserved, and that we deserved as long-term fans. So I think Disney's playing it right. They're just like, you know, let's put some distance, let's put some time, and then we'll figure out a way to do it. But look at
Fantastic Four. It's about time we get a good one, though.
Yes, it is. Like, look at how many people were in Endgame that weren't X-Men characters, and they still filled that screen with so many people, you know. And to think we have the X-Men world that they're eventually going to incorporate. I think they're just like, guys, we need some time. to bring all this in a way that works instead of just throw it all in the mixing bowl. And they don't want to screw it up. They want to do it right. So I'm excited that they're taking their time with it for sure.
Yeah. And this actually pretty much wraps up it wraps up the Marvel side of things. I don't have much more to say. I'm excited to see what the outlook is going to be, or what the future is going to be. There's a lot of, there's a lot. And
Feige said one of his last sentence at the end there was that Disney Plus will be the home of Marvel films and streaming shows in the future, which means, they've learned their lesson with loaning out the rights to these other streaming platforms. That shit ain't happening again. No. That was almost a FU to Warner Brothers, which HBO Max, they might be getting new movies, but their biggest properties, they're still playing, here you go, loaning them out to Netflix or loaning them out to all these other platforms because of all these all these contracts and all these arrangements that they can't get out of just because they want to. Disney's straighting up saying, no matter if it launches on Disney Plus or it launches in the theater, this is going to be the home, and we ain't playing that card anymore. And that's exciting. That's a promise to you and to everybody that has a Disney Plus account, saying, you won't have to get somebody else's streaming service to watch our movies. We're going to have them all here. That's a big play.
It's a big play, and it's honestly, in like the way that things are going, it's the right play.
It is.
It's really the best move. And then if you were still not convinced that Disney Plus has a shining bright future for some reason, we're going to end this live stream and we're going to start up a new one for like YouTube and tagging reasons.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to go over the Star Wars announcements, which also didn't have quite as much, but still some pretty big big Star Wars properties coming our way. So
yep.
Hit a like on this video if you liked it. We're going to start the next stream like immediately after this one.
Well, I'm going to go get another thing to drink, but otherwise we're going
to take a short break, and then we're going to jump
Tell
right
us what
back
you're excited about in the comments. Let us know what your theories are about all the connection between these things. There's so much to process. Tell us all the Easter eggs that you saw that we didn't talk about. I know there's so many of them. This wasn't an in-depth breakdown, but we want to hear it.
All right, guys. Hit us up in the comments, subscribe, stick around, make sure to watch the next live stream. We'll see you here in a little bit.